Hey guys, Moose here. This will be episode 1 of Stonehearth. Just starting a new game that we'll play for the videos here. I already pretty much know what we're going to go with. If you watched episode 0, looks like Raya's Children is maybe a little bit special, I'm guessing. In looking back at it, they're probably uniquely suited for going in the desert. I was actually wondering if they are able to farm on desert or something that Ascendancy is not able to do. But we're going to go Ascendancy, Darkmoor Forest, or Temperate Biome, and then normal difficulty again. Nothing too complex there. Last time I took Farmer's Hoe, not Wooden Sword, Weaver's Spindle, and Herbalist Staff. What I found out, those are all very easy to make, so I'm just going to go straight for Trapper's Knife, because I'm not sure how to make that. There may be something to be said for taking food, but right now I think I'm just going to go with Trapper's Knife. Not going to worry about rerolling citizens or anything like that. Like I said in the last video, it's probably weighted to be average. So what I'm looking for now, based on the first video, is going to be somewhere that's mostly green, which I suppose means wildlife and trees, and a little bit of mountains to allow us to mine out some minerals when we want them. I'm kind of wondering what this brown area is here. I wonder if that's like a sand? A town or something? I don't know. I guess we'll find out when we go in. I think this is a pretty good selection. We got water, if that matters, lots of trees, although it only shows one pip of trees. But wildlife is probably the big thing, and then even more than that, dirt. So let's start here and see how it goes. So the one thing I noticed in the first video is that this seems... I could be mistaken, it could be kind of a convergent evolution situation where they came up with it on their own, but I suspect that this is pretty heavily inspired by Dwarf Fortress, based on what I've seen so far. Alright, picking a starting place for the town. I kind of like open flat areas. It's a lot easier to kind of plan out the town that way. So I'm just going to probably go somewhere around here. But at the same time, I also want to be near trees, so I have resources nearby. I don't have to go too far for them. So let's go ahead and go... Well, that seems good enough. Probably should have thought of a name before this, but sure, Hopewood. Why not? First thing we wanted to do was designate some stuff to get harvested. One thing I did notice from the last video is that I seem to be getting food from something that I was cutting down or harvesting. I thought I was only cutting down trees back when I was up on the stone area. So I'm going to try and take a closer look and see. I know this has gathering and we've got flowers here or something. Wild Bright Bell. Healing herbs. Okay, so there's actually like unique resources for all these different things. It's not just like wood or stuff that comes from trees. That is actually good to know. Looks like there's some berry bushes here. I'm actually kind of curious. Let's see if they cut it down or they just harvest from it. Oh good, they're just harvesting from it. So that seems to be a renewable resource. That's going to be a big deal. I'm going to try and make use of that. Now there's some stone sitting out in the open here. That is interesting. Both of those went into a hunk of stone. That didn't seem to happen when I was mining in the other game, which makes me wonder what exactly causes these to be, you know, turned into a hunk of stone as opposed to just being removed. Alright. I cleared out all that, but didn't actually clear anything out around the campfire, so let's get that taken care of. And I'm probably going to do a shared sleeping quarters. Yeah, this is 4. Okay. It took a long time for the cottage for 2 to build last time, so I'm just going to go shared sleeping quarters, and that hopefully will be what I'm looking for. That looks lined up nicely. Let's move it a little ways back from the campfire. I don't expect that there's like a way for this to catch on fire or anything, but just the same, you don't want to mess around with that. Okay, so this is good, but I'm gonna need to make all this stuff. So let's get a carpenter's bench built. I forget how to do that. Right, I needed to promote someone to be a carpenter. So let's see who we should promote. Yuffa Homer. You have an interesting name. Congratulations, you're a carpenter. Oops. Alright, good, so they're digging that out. Probably have a little bit before they need the actual stuff. They're going to be putting wood in there for a while. Our carpenter is promoted, so we need to queue up a workbench. Please make a workbench. Grizzled Traveler approaches. Okay, this is the food guy. So this is good, but at the same time we've got berry bushes or something. What are they called exactly? No, literally just berry bush, okay. Not like a particular type of berry. So we have some renewable food. It looks like there's another one down there, a couple more. Maybe there's some, yeah, there's another 6 right here. We should be okay on food, I think. I'm only going to be worried when we start getting more people. So we do have 7 villagers, and this communal housing thing is only going to take 4, so we're probably going to need to build a second one, but I think for right now I'm not going to worry about that. It took a while for shelter to go down last time, so I'm not going to be overly concerned by that. Just placing the crafter's table, the carpenter's table there, so we can get started on making the beds at the very least. That's probably going to be the most important one, since that seems to correlate with the shelter satisfaction here, or morale, or whatever you want to call it. Actually, let's take a look and see. So yeah, I guess this is just dirt without sand. It's kind of odd that it's structured in this way. That looks kind of man-made, if you ask me, but who knows. I'm wondering if there's a use for water. Kind of suspect there isn't, but I would expect that there will be later. Alright, so first thing I'm going to want to do after this is... I actually don't know. I don't know if I need to sort out food right away, because we have those berry bushes, and that seems to probably be suitable for quite a while. I guess I should put down a... this is what, 4 wide? Screw it, I'm not going to be neat. That seems fine. I think that's roughly even. Like before, I'm just going to make a big zone. I don't need to worry about making it unique to a particular type of goods. Not yet, anyway. So something I talked about in the first video that I also wanted to mention here, just in case anyone skipped forward just to see, you know, a little bit more knowledgeable gameplay rather than just trying to learn the game, is it's $20 on Steam, I believe, right now. It's still under the summer sale, but it's $25 normally. So I mentioned in the initial video that that's probably kind of a lot for an early access game, and that's true. I think the only really sane rationale you can have when buying early access games is that if you're gonna buy it, either you have to be kind of content with whatever they give you, or you have to, and you're looking to support the developer. Like, I kind of did that with Subnautica because I love Unknown Worlds. I played a ton of Natural Selection when it was just a Half-Life mod back in the day. Probably one of my favorite games of all time. So Subnautica, and honestly Natural Selection 2 as well, were both no-brainers. Not really happy with Natural Selection 2, didn't really make me feel the same way that NS1 did, but Subnautica is amazing. I love that game. So, situations like that, that's one option, but the other option is if you don't really care that much about the developer, you like the game, I feel like it has to have enough content to justify the price at the time that you buy it. And I don't think that's necessarily a developer issue, I think that's a consumer issue. Like, you really have to be able to be okay with what you're buying at the time that you buy it, rather than hoping for it to be something that it isn't yet, because you're just setting yourself up for disappointment if they don't deliver. You really, I feel, have to be happy with the product as it exists, otherwise you should expect to be disappointed, probably. Obviously, you're not always going to be disappointed, but it's, you know, that's kind of a big risk. Alright, let's designate some more trees to get cut down. I don't think we need the wood, but they're kind of obstructing the view a little. It looks like they're making good progress on the house. It does not appear to be even. Interesting. So I do believe you can design buildings in this. I haven't messed with it. I think that would be kind of boring to stream. But I would recognize and understand if a lot of people would actually enjoy content like that. I have a vague plan for getting something like that going, but to be honest, my creativity that's not my strong suit. I suck at designing stuff like this. Minecraft is sort of the pinnacle of my abilities on that front, and it's not terribly impressive. So I'm probably just gonna go with the default stuff, and then either design something off camera or ask someone that I know that is actually someone that I'm impressed by creatively to design something. I think she would enjoy doing this too. Probably not playing the game so much, but designing a house like this or something. I think she'd find it fun. I got her to play Minecraft and she enjoyed that, so this is probably a no-brainer as far as that goes. Alright, so I should probably just queue up some of the stuff that I need. I don't know why I haven't done that yet, just kind of talking here. Alright, looks like 4 beds. That's going to be the one we really care about first, like I mentioned before. Then the wall lanterns. I don't know if light impacts anything here. Maybe it impacts spawning of monsters, but it doesn't seem like this game works that way. So I'm guessing no, it doesn't matter. But for aesthetics, it's nice. So let's do the beds and the wall lanterns. Where was that? Right, crafting menu. I should probably look into some tools too, but it looks like I have to level up my carpenter first before I can do those, which is fine. We can worry about that in a while. So what do we need? 4 beds. Queue those up, especially because it's night. People are... I don't know if they actually sleep on the day-night cycle, but I think they do. I know some games will have them do it like they sleep every other day or something. To get some more productivity out of it. Where? Oh right, I needed level 1 for the wall lantern thing. So let's actually look at something else, because I suspect they level up by crafting stuff. Let's go for the... well, I mean everything else. 1 door, 5 window frames. I don't know why I just didn't do it all at once to begin with, but whatever. Is it 5, right? 5 window frames, and then the door. Boom, there we go. Alright, so we just need our carpenter to level up, and then we're good to go. Looks like the beds are mostly done already, just need 1 more to be made. All the people are kind of too busy to collect the materials. They're still building the house. It looks like they're done building, they're just demolishing the scaffolding. Let's see, is that fence or... no, that's scaffolding. Alright, carpenter leveled up, so let's go ahead and queue up the lanterns. I think we needed 2. I'll double check that in a second. What do we need? Oh, we have to close this one. Yep, 2. Okay, so we got everything that we need queued up, that's good. Not using the trapper's knife yet. Like I said, I think we're okay on food. We were kind of boned for food last time and it took people a while to starve, so... not going to be terribly concerned just yet. Shelter seemed to drop the fastest, so we'll take care of that first. Let's see what else unlocked when we got level 1. Looks like the basic tools, Weaver's Spindle, which might be good because we have found stuff to make cloth out of. Not totally sure if that's the right call yet. Practice Sword, I don't care. I'm not going to touch that yet. I'm going to pray that the monsters come later. It looks like this is miscellaneous stuff that I can place, or if a building requires it. A sign would be kind of cool. You could put like an in sign. Yeah, let's make an... craft requirements unmet. What do you mean craft... oh, we need a normal sign. Okay. Let's start with that. So does it understand that I'm making one? No, it does not. Okay. Sure. Craft it. Queue it. Okay, so it just lets you queue it anyway. That's fine. So you kind of manage the intermediate ingredients yourself. That's okay. I'm sure they'll probably implement it so it can tell when you've crafted, or when it can tell when you've queued something up ahead of time. It won't whine about not having it. So I'm actually kind of interested what this game was inspired by. I mentioned Dwarf Fortress earlier. I think there's a lot of elements that are similar to that, but there's a lot of stuff that also isn't. It's a little bit more freeform than something like Banished. You obviously have a lot of flexibility in building design and stuff like that. You can craft individual components for a building and make those, and you have obviously much more control over the individual villagers, but I wonder if it's... I kind of wonder if someone looked at Banished and said, you know, this is good, I like this a lot, but it's not quite scratching the itch that I want it to, and as a result made this game. Because I have feelings like that towards Banished, where I feel like it's probably one of my favorite games in recent history, but it just didn't quite do enough for me. I wanted more out of it. I wanted more complexity, I guess. Let's build up another house here, since we have 7 people and this only satisfies 4. Let's line it up nice and neat. So yeah, I've had thoughts about, okay, well, what do I want from Banished that it's not giving me, and it's... Oh, did I do something wrong? No, I didn't. Okay, they're starting on I didn't do something wrong. Short on food, that's fine. Not that worried about. I think this isn't how much food they actually need, it's how much food they want to have. Net worth, I don't care. Morale is good, so that's fine. I think maybe hitting those targets might lead to you getting people moving in, which I'm frankly not really concerned about just yet. But yeah, Banished, what there was of it I loved, but it was just... I wanted more. I wanted more content. Whether it's a larger map or what, like, I wanted more. And I've had thoughts about what kind of game I'd make to move it in that direction, but I clearly lack the skills necessary to do that. It's still an amazing game. Is this furniture guy again? Oh, he has clothes. Very interesting. Oh, winter. So I wonder if winter is in the game currently. Because that would be interesting if we need to gear up for cold weather. So this is a cloth guy mostly. Okay, you can make rugs too, that's cool. I don't want any of this, but it's good to know that it exists. Level 2 carpenter. That's quite nice. Okay, so they actually get skills, which is interesting. Oh! That is very interesting. So before level 2, you can't use materials that another character made. That's kind of odd. But I can make stuff now. So let's make a hoe. And you know what? Let's get started on masonry too. I kind of want to see what masonry... I didn't mess with that at all in episode 0, so I'd kind of like to see how that works. That's one of the things that I kind of see... it's maybe a little bit unfair to compare that to Dwarf Fortress. That's a pretty generic mechanic, but having workshops with DF is kind of interesting and nice. I might do a playthrough of Dwarf Fortress at some point, just because I like it. I don't expect it to be particularly popular. That's a pretty hard game to follow, but at the very least you should read up about it if you don't know what Dwarf Fortress is. It's frankly very impressive. Alright, so this is extremely interesting. They actually build up the scaffolding line by line as they place the wall. So they're not doing like 2 levels at once, I don't think. Huh. I guess that's interesting. Oh no, they are kind of doing 2 at once. That was very weird. He the scaffolding was 1 below where it is now, and he kind of put a couple down. This is going to be a window, I assume, and then he went down this ladder. That's kind of interesting how they mechanically build it. It's cool either way. I think I queued up the beds, did I? We only have 2 in the stockpile. I'm just gonna let them go and do their thing, and if they need more, they need more. I should probably, however, get some more berries, because food, I'm kind of ignoring food, which is maybe fatal. Oh, these berries are back. Very nice. Let's get those. Rotate the camera and get these ones as well, so I don't accidentally get the tree. Not that it would be a problem if I did, I just don't want to waste their time getting the tree. Let's get these berries as well. Alright, that should be fine for now. I'm not, like I said before, I'm not overly concerned about food. It looks like we do have a little bit, and I think they still had some over here in the first berry patch that they hadn't even collected yet. Yeah. To the point that they're actually coming over to here to eat. that's perhaps not a good sign. I think that's just an issue of needing more manpower to finish these houses here. Alright, well, this is a pretty good start. We got like 1 1/4 buildings going, and carpentry's going. I think we have the masonry hammer. Yeah, chisel here. So I'm gonna stop this episode right here, and in episode 2, I believe we're probably gonna look into masonry as well as... it's probably too early to still to worry about food too much, but maybe... Nah, yeah, let's just do food. Might as well figure it out now, when it's not an issue, so that when we grow we don't have to panic and build a bunch of farms. At any rate, thank you for watching. If you have any comments, even if they're negative, please let me know in the comments. I would love to have an opportunity to make these videos better. So, anything you would like to see different, or honestly, even games that you'd like to see. I have a list of my own that I'm planning on covering. I think This War of Mine and Overwatch are probably next on the docket, but I'm really interested in hearing any commentary anyone has. Still getting started here, so whatever you got is always good, and I appreciate you sticking around long enough to even hear me say this, so thanks, and I'll see you in episode 2.